Hey, it's the Empire, Boxing Empire, back to my boxing. Now, man, you guys see the post, man. My boy Andy Ruiz posts him and Luis Ortiz facing off, man, face to face, man. Latin America versus Latin America, man. The battle of Latin America, man. I really want to see this fight, man. Now, these Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz would be a really good fight, man. They're both coming off L's, man. Luis Ortiz lost Deontay Wilder via KO. Right, and Andy Ruiz got outboxed by Anthony Joshua. I'm sorry, and they're both coming off L's. This could be a great fight for their career. Now I'm gonna get in some quotes for you guys. This is what Andy said in his post when he posted this picture. He said, "Would you want to see this fight? Retweet and let me know. Finished my 7 a.m. run this morning. About to rest and train for a few more hours." Right. So that's what Andy Ruiz says, and then he's like promoting some protein stuff, right? Selling some stuff, right? But anyway, Andy Ruiz is training really hard, man. He wants his fight, and this is a really big deal. I remember when Adrian Broner, when he was coming up and he was undefeated, he did a tweet, and he basically had a poll said, "Hey, man, who do you guys want me to fight next?" And he had a couple options, and everyone picked Marcos Maidana, man. They picked Marcos Maidana. That was the end of his career. That was the end of his career. Is Andy Ruiz doing the same thing by fighting Luis Ortiz? Now, Andy Ruiz is a phenomenal fighter, but Luis Ortiz is not a chump. It's wild because Luis Ortiz only has 2 losses, and he's been stopped twice by Deontay Wilder. But even then, that Cuban style has a lot of people on edge about Andy Ruiz if he can handle a style like a Luis Ortiz, right? Now, in my opinion, I think it'd be a really good fight, Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. But the thing is, Andy Ruiz has a problem with people who move, right? We just watched the Anthony Joshua fight. Anthony Joshua, all you have to do is just move and box. And Cubans are known to do that. They're known to just box. Luis Ortiz likes to push the pace when he wants to, but if Luis Ortiz decides to just stand outside and box him, that could be a really hard fight for Andy Ruiz, especially saying that the fact is Luis Ortiz southpaw, so it's gonna be even harder to hit him. When it comes to single shots, I think Luis Ortiz could probably land the single shots better. But when it comes to if Luis Ortiz stands and tries to trade with Andy Ruiz, that'd be a problem. But Luis Ortiz has more options in my opinion in this fight. He can make this fight an easy night if he wants to by just boxing. Andy Ruiz is really gonna have to get on his toes, something we've never seen before, and box Luis Ortiz instead of just trying to brawl. We'll see, man. But Andy Ruiz is a phenomenal fighter. I'm just thinking out loud, but Andy Ruiz, he can box when he wants to, but I never seen him try to outbox someone for a full fight. Usually he comes down at the end of the day. He likes to trade, right? If you guys want to see Andy Ruiz box, watch him versus Joseph Parker. I thought he outboxed Joseph Parker really well. So it's not that he can't do it, but at this stage of his career, can he do it? Because he looked so bad in the Anthony Joshua fight. It didn't look like he could box at all. It didn't look like he can cut the ring off at all. So we're going to see how this whole fight plays out, man. I still favor Luis Ortiz just because he's Cuban, and Cubans are pure boxers. If you're going to fight a boxer, fighting a Cuban is probably the worst guy you can fight because they're just known to box. That's all they do is box. If Andy Ruiz comes in a certain weight, then I'd probably pick Andy Ruiz. He says he's in shape right now. There's nothing else to do. So, I'm taking his word for it. But, this is a big deal. Like I said, man, this is a battle for Latin America. I think it's funny, man. This might be controversial what I say, but, Latin people in America, a Hispanic you be from Puerto Rico, you can be from Mexico, you can be Cuban, you can be from any Spanish-speaking country and be considered Hispanic. Same thing being Latin, right? You can be from multitudes of Spanish-speaking countries and be considered Latin American. But it's all unified until they fight each other, man. You're all Latin until you start fighting each other. And then it's not, man. You're not Latin. You're from Cuba, not from Mexico. So I always thought that was sort of funny how that happens when they're always claiming their Latin heritage or their Hispanic heritage, and then when they fight each other, there's none of that unified anything. It's Mexico versus Cuba. So, man, I think that's always funny, man. I always like to see the drama between the two countries. It's funny. Sometimes it's so bad, it seems like they went to war or something. It's like, dang, have you guys had a war before? Nope, it's just the hostility. And I like to sit back and watch, man, get some popcorn, watch the drama, and may the best man win. But I like both these fighters, man. Phenomenal fighters. In my opinion, why I think Ortiz is a great fighter. I think Andy Ruiz has a higher cap. I think he has more potential than Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, why he's a phenomenal fighter, and I think he might have the edge in this fight. Andy Ruiz has a untapped potential, and I think if he just has the right person guiding him in his career, he can easily be a world champion. The guy's young. He's not that old. I think that Andy Ruiz has a high potential, and it's all based off how he trains. That's about it, really. And I think it's mostly just about weight, because he's obviously worked in his craft. You could tell by the way he boxes. He works on his craft, but you could tell by his skill set, right? The guy's young. He's only 30. In boxing years, that's extremely young. And Andy Ruiz, like I said, man, the sky's the limit for the guy. He just needs to stay focused. So let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Luis Ortiz, I think he has an edge in this fight, but Andy Ruiz, like I said, I think he has untapped potential. And can he get there? He's always talking about getting in shape. I'm always watching what he's doing on Twitter or whatever. He's always promoting this protein. It could just be he's getting residuals off of it. But that's not what I want to see, man. I don't want to see this guy, eating a whole bunch of protein and stuff like that. I want to see this guy eating vegetables. I want to see this guy dropping weight. There's a lot of ways to get bulky, and there's animal fat, there's animal meat, and fish and chicken and stuff like that. And then there's vegetable protein, like beans, things like that. I think Andy Ruiz needs to go that route for at least 2 years. He needs to just leave meat alone and just go vegetarian. I think that weight would just melt off his body if he did that instead. Along with not eating processed food, stuff like that. But yeah. So that's how I feel about it, man. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about Andy Ruiz calling out Luis Ortiz, the battle for Latin America. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geobasing Empire. Peace.